Hi, I'm Chris Sanchez, and welcome to Sonoma Views, where we talk about real estate, property management, food, restaurants, what's going on in Sonoma County, and everything in between. Thank you very much for being here. I have a quick topic regarding, this is on the landlord side, property management. How do you deal with tenants? How do you deal with the situation when a tenant locks themselves out of the rental property? Again, there's no right answer, right or wrong answer. It sucks when it happens. It sucks for the tenant because it's their fault and they're locked out, and if they don't have a spare key, or they don't have a husband or a wife or a roommate who has that extra key, it's not our fault, not my fault that they locked themselves out. We gave them keys. Just like if they were locked themselves out of a car, it happens. So that's just, it's bound to happen. How I handle it, and this is something that you might take, use it into your own life if you're a landlord, or if you're a tenant watching this, and something just to be mindful of. It depends on your operating rules, your policies and procedures, and what you have written into your rental agreement. So that would be the first place to check. Is that a sort of scenario or a contingency that's already planned ahead of time? It's going to happen sooner or later. Now, if for an individual landlord who just has 1 or 2 units, it might never happen. But I manage close to 300 rental units, and just on that large scale, it's still rare. Last time it happened, I want to say it was probably 6 months ago, probably last summer that it's happened. So even on 300 units, it was about 6 months ago that I had a tenant who reported a lockout after hours anyway. So it doesn't happen, but it definitely can. So the way I handle it, because it has happened in the past, I have it written into the rental agreement, into the lease, and it's so frequent I hardly ever use it or bill it. But I want to say it's $90 or $95, which is just a regular service call, and that's just a regular maintenance call, as if there was a light switch that was not working and we had to go out and make a service call for repair on a property. So I want to say $90, $95 would be a service, the lockout fee during business hours. Okay, it's different if this happened on a Thursday, or and this just happened this morning, by the way, which is the reason for this video, and it's Saturday today. If it was a Thursday or a Friday morning and we have staff in the office, not a problem. A tenant would call the office first and they would say, hey, I locked myself out, do you guys have an extra key? Could you send somebody? So yes, we're going to give them 2 options. One, it's go to the office. They could borrow the key, no charge. Okay, but they have to go to the office, and depending where that property is, it may be near the office, it might not. This particular tenant this morning, they're in downtown Santa Rosa, and our office is in Rohnert Park, and I was out in Windsor when this happened, which is north Sonoma County. So if I were to go and do that, I'll back up a second. During normal business hours, the tenant would call in and they would say, hey, I locked myself out. Could I borrow a key so I could open up? Sure, not a problem. Drive down. Hopefully the keys weren't together with the car keys and house keys, but if they're able to drive over to the office, come on by. Stop in. We'll get you the manager key. You can borrow it. Go back, open up for yourself, and then you have to come back and return our manager key. You're not keeping our manager key. Okay? So no charge for that. If they cannot or are not able to go to the office because maybe the house key and the car key were together and they're just completely locked out, they have no other way and they don't want to break a window to get in. If it's during normal business hours, then myself or one of the property managers would go and take the manager key, go open up. So that's a lockout fee. That's a service charge. Not our fault whatsoever. And we will definitely do that as a service. No problem. $90, $95 during normal business hours. But if it happens like today, Saturday morning, 9 a.m., I'm getting my coffee. I am out in Windsor, which is north Sonoma County. The property's in Santa Rosa. In my office, where my manager key is locked, or where it's stored, it's in Rohnert Park. And we're talking a 30-minute drive from where I was. So if I were to just drop what I was doing and rush over there and treat it like an emergency. It's an emergency. I know it's very, very important for the tenant who's locked out, but it's not a property emergency. I would have to go from Windsor to Roner Park just to go retrieve the key, then go back north to Santa Rosa, downtown Santa Rosa, which is another 15-minute drive, go unlock for them, and then because I still had other jobs, other appointments to do, I have to go back to Roner Park and just store that key, so I'm not just driving around with that key. So I don't want to be responsible for I don't like driving around with keys that are going to be lost, misplaced or lost. So I always like to get them back to where they're supposed to be, which is in the office. All right. If that were to happen, then it's $150 for after hours and weekends, because I don't have the staffing. We don't have people in the office on the weekends. I am available. I'm on call. I'm the person who handles the maintenance emergencies. I'm the one who gets the phone calls and the text messages, and I would be the one who would handle the service call for the lockout. So I'm happy to do it, but again, it's going to be based on the scheduling, the light scheduling during that time. I don't have anybody available. I did offer to go, and it would have been around 2:00 p.m., which is about now, after I was done with the property cleanup that I had scheduled. And again, I was out in Windsor, so I've been commuting back and forth. So yes, I definitely would have done it. I didn't have anybody else available, and if I did it, it would have been billed to the tenant, because it's not our fault, it's their fault. So two different ways. And then the first immediate option that I gave the tenant was, unfortunately, I don't have anybody available. No one's in the office, so you can't go in there and get a key right now. Step one, call a locksmith. And again, a locksmith might be $120. They might be cheaper than us, but again, you're getting weekend rates. It's after hours. You have to get a mobile locksmith. So that's the first recommendation. Call a locksmith, have them go out. Tenant pays the vendor directly. Take care of it. Their problem, their mistake. Just like if they lock their keys inside their car. If you're stranded, I'm at a shopping center right now. That would be a great example. You're at the store, you get to your car, and oh man, my keys are locked. Call AAA. Call tow truck maybe who could open up, or you're going to call a mobile locksmith. You do what you have to do. I mean, there are mistakes, things happen, but it is not the landlord's fault. So on that note, the recommendation to tenants, if you're a tenant watching this, I would say make a duplicate copy of a key. Check your rental agreement first. Some leases will specifically state, some of the keys will actually be stamped. I happen to have a key. This one says do not duplicate. And some of them are, I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, I guess you can. They're stamped, depending where you get them, which locksmith cuts the keys. Some say do not duplicate. The lease agreement might state that tenant was given X amount of keys, 2 keys, that they cannot make duplicate copies without landlord approval. So that might be something in there, but people are going to do it anyway. Let's be real. But if maybe they could request another copy to be issued by the landlord property manager, and have a spare key. Have a friend, girlfriend, spouse, somebody who has a copy of that extra key to prevent a lockout. And then the smartest thing a tenant could do, all right, this is going to be worth gold to somebody at some point. Get a lockbox. Oh my gosh, I have one. So I drive around with these. So a contractor lockbox, and this is master lock. These are the ones that I buy. And let's see, 5221. Yeah. So it opens up. You've probably seen these on doors. Seen them on door locks. I like to put these on a gas meter. Now I don't know. It's gonna get me in trouble. I don't know if PG&E, the gas company, likes that or not, but it is a safe spot where these things are attached on the actual pipe, and they're on. If it's a single family house, the gas meter's on the side of the house. So these are ugly if they are on a doorknob. If they go on the front door, one, it's ugly because some doorknobs are cool. It's not so much in the way of, how can I put this? Some fancier doors, they only have a deadbolt, and they have this a handle that comes out, and the lock you push down with your thumb, and this thing could actually go into that handle, that door handle, very easily. But some of them just have a doorknob, and if it has a doorknob, this goes on there and it's just clunky. It is ugly, but these things are solid. Now, the unintended consequence, if you have a lockbox, this is a master lock key safe. If you have one of these on your front door, it's going to tell other people who are driving around who happen to know that this is a contractor lockbox that potentially the house is vacant. Okay, so these are a dead giveaway that if there's a lockbox on the front door, chances are it's vacant, and chances are it could attract somebody who wants to go snooping around the property. So for that reason, I recommend sticking it either on the gas meter or on a fence somewhere where you could just take the shackle and just put it on there, and it'll keep your extra key always at the property on site. All you have to do, you just put in a combination. It's a combination code. This one, I'm never going to use this. You just put in the 4-digit code, opens it up, and the keys are going to be inside. These things are bulletproof. There is another similar, the exact type master lock contractor lockbox. It's called a wall mount key safe is another word for it. You can find these at Home Depot. They're like $32 with tax, $33. So without the shackle, you will get a similar size lockbox, which is squared in shape, and they will mount directly to a wall. So rather than having this this dangling shackle like this, it doesn't have the shackle, and it's just a unit, and it is secured to, you could go directly into the side of the house on the trim. It could go into a fence post, which is a great place to attach them. So you literally drill them in, and it's mounted, which would be a permanently mounted lockbox at the property. And that's even a better solution. But you're not going to move it anymore. Once you install it, it's done. They have a little cover for the weather, so the rain and the dust doesn't damage your combination lock. All right, so that is worth gold. I keep one at my place ever since I've been carrying these lockboxes around. My friends and family, I've seen them. They have their own lockbox on the outside, just because don't have to worry about getting locked out. Locksmith is going to be maybe $100 on a weekend. My service charge would have been $150. That lockbox is only $35 with tax at Home Depot. So, cheaper option. Thank you very much for watching. This is Sonoma Views. If you would like to watch future videos or receive notifications when a new video is published, please subscribe. And there's a little bell icon, and you click that, and you will get updates when there's a new video posted. I see my family over there. I have to go pick up my little one, Vivi. Talk to you soon.